Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we have one little baby last bit of PlayStation 5 Pro news, and after that, we'll probably get a little bit more of a deeper dive into other videos. But when it comes to this, we're actually now seeing some more disappointing news when it comes to PS5 Pro. We also have some kind of cool news over here when it comes to brand new hiring and new projects as well on the way for PlayStation. So we're going to go talk about this all throughout this video itself. So make sure you guys are subscribed with notifications on. We'll probably be checking out maybe Dragon's Dogma down below if you guys want to check out the Twitch stream. We'll also have the Twitter down below, and of course, the Samsung link. I think today might be one of the last days for the promotion. If you guys want to go check that out, hashtag ad, and let's go and dive on into the video itself. So as you guys probably know, when it comes to GTA, most people are kind of expecting some, well, prodigy, some amazing game, some beautiful game, and as well, if you want to upgrade for PS5 Pro, also kind of someone expecting a really, well, good upgrade. Like, the game's going to look fantastic. But sadly enough, the PS5 Pro is apparently not maybe that magical console we all are expecting. Well, the PS5 Pro may not run GTA 6 at 60 frames per second, where Digital Foundry's analysis suggests now that the PS5 Pro's improved specs actually won't even have that much of a big impact on frame rate. Now, as we've kind of been discussing, and also kind of just, I guess, researching into, the PS5 Pro does have some good improvements. The PSSR, which is some cool AI integration. They have the upgraded GPU, which is probably nice for resolution, but at the same time, frames and consistent frames and basically like rendering and loading of the levels matter a lot on the CPU level. So it's kind of sad to go and see that it seems like the PS5 Pro might not even be able to go run GTA 6 at 60 FPS. Now, some folks were maybe assuming it might be like a 40, 45, which is still an improvement over a most likely 30 PS5 FPS run, which is understandable, like we get it. But at the same exact time, this is rough. Like, that's not the best news to go in here, especially because why else do we want to upgrade the console itself if we can't even play the golden baby butterooski over here, GTA, to, well, the best levels it possibly can. Saying Digital Foundry's analysis suggests that the pros and specs won't really help out on the frame rate, saying the details about the PS5 Pro keep leaking all over the place. We've been covering up a decent bit on the channel, with us recently learning that it's likely targeting a holiday 2024 release window, and that it will apparently feature PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, which I mentioned before is the AI itself. But right now, a lot of folks are kind of curious on this, discussing that this may not be the best upgrade we have a chance to go and see. And I don't want to be like on the PS5 Pro anti-hate chain. I don't want to be that guy, but it is kind of seemingly kind of weird where the console CPU is identical to the base version. And I've been highlighting this up in separate videos, basically discussing that, like, hey, like, this is like bad. Like, you want to have a better improvement on the CPU especially, but that does lead towards these bigger, more graphically intensive games. Think like Cyberpunk, where there's a lot of things going on at once, so like the rendering and the encoding for the consoles are kind of crazy too. So they're saying the console CPU is basically identical of that of the base PS5 version, both of which sport an 8-core, 16-thread Zen 2 with clock speeds of up to 3.5 gigahertz. The only difference here is that the PS5's Pro CPU has a higher CPU frequency mode, which allows them to boost their performance. We've discussed this on prior videos. But one of the bigger things is that you can always be perpetually running your, say, chip at a 100% efficiency. It's just not good for your computer. That's basically trying to go mine like cryptocurrency in your GPU. It destroys it over time because it's just running at such a high capacity. But as well, a game like GTA 6 is going to be a big map with a lot of different AI running, a lot of different characters and models, and just random RNG situations happening that have to be computed. So it does kind of seem like this is not going to be an easy game to run. And they're saying there's some notable differences between the two consoles, such as the PS5 Pro housing 33.5 teraflops and the PS5's 10.28 teraflops too. But when it comes to producing better frame rates, the performance similarities between the two CPUs raise some concerns for a lot of those folks over at Digital Foundry. We've kind of touched on this a little bit in the prior videos, kind of more of an expansion, more of like a focalized one for this when it comes to this, saying the gamers are targeting 30 FPS right now, and are going to be targeting 60 frames per second on the PS5 Pro if they're CPU limited. Lead Better said as well, we talked about this a little bit before earlier on today. So, all of the sort of conjunctions of, hey, this isn't going to be a great box for GTA 6, you'll be able to run that at 60 frames per second. So unless there's a magical CPU stuff being done by Rockstar, a lot of folks are just assuming it's not going to be able to go hit the 60 frames per second. They're saying an extra 10% on the clock speed isn't going to do that much at all. It will help you sort of worst possible frame rates when you're CPU limited, but it's not a game changer. So the GPU is still big, it's still a good improvement, but the CPU is kind of what allows like you to have a bunch of people on screen, have like AI and cars driving around, have like just background dialogue, textures, maybe even things like ray tracing, etc. If they need to go have that all basically like being encoded throughout the console. So right now we're assuming that maybe GTA 6 might not even be able to go hit 60 frames, which is ridiculous to me for a Pro console. And according to Digital Foundry, the impact of the PS5 Pro's higher processing power and actual game performance may not even be that impressive. They said the system might get a console gamer who's considered a move to PC gaming and thought twice about the Switch. And I've discussed this before, or like if you're someone who just never bought a PS5 and you want to go get a PS5 Pro just to get your intro in there, it's like the better, brand new, newer version, I'd say yeah. But I do think a lot of people with the PS5 are probably not going to want to go make that jump to it. I myself am skeptical. I might, but I also do already have a PC. And at the same time, I don't mind waiting extra 1 or 2 years for, like, say, Sony games to come to PC if I needed to. And if I really want to play them, I'll play my PS5, which is still holding up okay. And I'm sure with how many consoles they have, they're not going to go and skimp on the performance. So it's intriguing to see this, but either way, it does seem like GTA is not going to be the best. So the PS5 Pro's improved hardware is not without its benefits, though. With Sony's proprietary PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution upscaling tech, the console will be able to render games at 4K, with support for 8K and higher resolutions possible thanks to machine learning. But the timing for the console's release seems off, as Sony isn't releasing any new major existing franchise games until 2025. So once again, why are people going to want to get a PS5 Pro? GTA 6 seems dope, but if it's also kind of soft light at 30 frames, maybe 40 if they're lucky, then really, once again, what's the point? Like, are they going to have a really cool brand new Last of Us Part 3, a like brand new God of War DLC or something, the next Spider-Man? Like, we just need something that's going to be really graphically cool. Like, I mean, Wolverine might be that game, but at the same time, with that being like a really big superhero franchise game, they're probably not going to want to do anything crazy with it. They're probably just want to release and have fun with it and go from there, you know? Like, get as many sales. Because if it's the same thing with Spider-Man, where they basically required like 8 million sales or so, then they're going to go and want to hit that. And if they don't, then what's the point? Like, they're not going to go hit it, then it's just going to just be sad at the end of the day. So it is going to seem rough. It seems like people, once again, are still very skeptical on the PS5 Pro. And now, unless they're saying they have like a killer app or something really cool that makes it feel like a necessary upgrade, it just seems like it might be one of those nice to have things rather than anything else. Which I want to hear your thoughts on this still. I don't want to dive into the PS5 Pro too much. I think we've covered it pretty decently these past few days. So also, we have also some kind of fun games over here too, where there's some brand new games from Ben Studio, where they're trying to have a lead project game manager for game development at the PlayStation Studios. So kind of a fun little board for Greenhouse over here, where they basically have a chance to go and do the brand new game. They're basically saying there's a strong preference for the person filling this role to sit in studio and bend, and they also want to have a brand new project because they're basically the makers of Days Gone, Uncharted Golden Abyss, and Siphon Filter, and they're trying to go find someone brand new in their studio for a big leadership role to make a brand new game. Now, people don't necessarily fully know what they're going for over here, but usually lead game devs are pretty big in the whole scheme of things. So I'm kind of intrigued on this at the end of the day, and I'm excited for brand new games coming too as well. So give me your thoughts on comments, everything down below. Make sure you guys are subscribed with the notifications on. Check out the Samsung link down below for the giveaway and entry if you guys would like. We have the Twitter and Twitch room probably live up right this second, and I appreciate y'all for watching here in the first place.